Spiked with a love
Can we not try and get Longbottom in there somewhere? I really want.
Neville Longbottom.
Where we slip Longbottom a dirty tree.
You have activated the podcast from the Psycom Network.
And now, on with the show.
Welcome to the Retrograde podcast, the show where we slip retro games a chocolate frog that we spiked with a love potion. This is episode 19, and today we're going to be discussing the PlayStation title Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. My name is Jack Marshall, I'm joined today by Anthony Hobday.
Hello.
There's Anne Fisher.
Hi.
And Jason Fadian.
Hi.
Yay! Well, we're back again, guys. You alright?
Back once again with the Retrograde Masters.
I just want to say, episode 19, have we got any plans for the big 2-0? Any celebratory...
Well, we're matching James's age soon.
Oh. And then
We'll overtake it.
Which one is this? Is this 19?
19.
This
19.
is 19. Oh,
19.
so yeah.
Yeah, so...
I'm saying...
And the next one, the 20th, which is your age, is your game.
Oh, wow. It's almost as though we planned that.
Amazing.
We didn't, because we're not... I mean, we're nerds, but
Jack
for
did.
God's sake. But,
do you want to know what Jack learned this week? Because we're doing Harry Potter and the whole J.K. Rowling thing, I learned the expression...
Rowling. J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling, same thing. Nom de plume.
Nom de plume.
Nom de plume, which is obviously their pen name. It's a French expression for it. It's her nom de plume.
Do you know why she did it?
Because young boys like male authors. They don't like female authors, apparently.
Yeah.
But then didn't like C.S. Lewis?
C.S. Lewis, yeah, he did the same thing.
Was that a woman?
And Tolkien did the same thing.
Yeah. But I thought it was more common for women to adopt men's pen names because women back in like the 19th century
well,
weren't taken
it
seriously
was.
as racist.
Yeah,
Is
like
that right?
T.S. Eliot was a
T.S.
pen name.
Eliot. Yeah.
Here's one. George Orwell, his real name was Eric Blair.
Yeah.
He has changed his name so that his family was ashamed of his profession. But he was
When
one of
they
the
ashamed
greatest.
of his... No, wait, he wasn't a gay one, was he?
I don't think so. They just didn't like him being an author, but he was one of the greatest authors as well.
Oh, yeah. Orson Welles. George Orwell, Orson Welles.
I always get them confused
Always.
I get them confused with who killed JFK?
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah.
I get them all confused.
Yeah.
It's all
Oswald
also,
the Rabbit was Mickey Mouse's before Mickey Mouse was.
All of them great authors.
Snoop Dogg used to be called Calvin Broadus.
Isn't he Snoop Lion now?
Snoop Lion. I don't know.
And he's writing children's books.
I was going to say that
Yeah.
Michelangelo's father, when he found out he'd been painting and sculpting after work, he crushed both his hands, broke both his hands, Michelangelo's hands. And so Michelangelo spent the next, I think it's like 4 months, just staring at a block of granite, thinking about what he's going to make out of it, or marble or whatever.
Did he do
And
David?
then he made David out of it, yeah.
Nice.
Once his hands had healed.
So not gay.
There you go. It's good. Good little fact.
Well, he did the rough work and got someone else
So
to
we had
finish it. He had broken hands.
how was everyone's Valentine's Day?
It was lovely.
Yeah,
I was at
lovely.
school doing the school show.
Was there any embarrassing things at school, like teenage boys trying to give girls cards?
No, they weren't. No, they were fine.
I can't remember Valentine's Day when I was at school.
It's because you didn't have
Because it
any.
never happened to me, yeah.
It doesn't happen in the same way here that it happened in America, where they go
Yeah.
out. They have
Like
little-
choose you or anything like that.
Oh, that's so cute.
I'm pretty sure that was on The Simpsons,
Neil,
wasn't it?
Neil
Yeah.
came up to school and worked on the bar with me because that's my job during the school show, is to get the parents drunk.
Bar? Oh, right.
Yeah.
There's a bar at your school shows.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Get the parents, and
You
I'm in
must
charge
make
of it.
You must make a killing. They must turn up and
Yeah.
go, oh, God, watch a kids' show. What, there's beer? You know.
Exactly, we do. That's why we do the bar. And so he came up and stayed, and then stayed at his mum's that night because his mum lives in Grinny where my school is. So, yeah, it's very nice.
I went clubbing. Pretty sad.
You went clubbing?
The week before I did, when I was thinking Valentine's Day's coming out, I need to get
was
out there a
that
bit more.
the-
But when I say clubbing, I mean I stand in a corner holding a beer, looking
Yeah.
awkward, just stroking my beer with
You're
one
in
finger.
a club.
Stroking your beard.
With beer with one finger, not my beard. My beard as well. I could do that. But yeah, it was.
You can stroke your beard with your beer.
There was a girl. There was a girl who was actually interested in me, but I turned up with a girl who'd gone home. So I was like, oh, miserable about that.
You turned up with a girl who'd gone
turned up
home.
with a girl,
Bloody
like a
hell.
girl who was on a potential date, but she went home early. I was like, oh,
Potential
that
date
was
with you?
Awful. Sort of. Yeah.
Right.
Come
I
on,
turned
Jack,
up
let
with
it
a
all
girl.
out.
Turned up with a
Public
girl.
forum.
She went home.
Put
and
it
I was
on the public domain.
I was like, oh dear, that was a
He
waste
talks
of time.
about you all the time.
It was with my neighbours downstairs, and I got in, ended up getting, because she'd got home, so I was like, oh, screw this, I'm going to get completely drunk. And
So
then
were you there
my
on your own?
housemate- No. It was my housemate downstairs. Is girlfriend who also lives with him's birthday, so she had a bunch of friends there. So I just got completely drunk, and I didn't even think about these other girls. Because like 1:30, he was like, "By the way, so and so actually quite likes you." I was completely smashed. I couldn't even remember it. I was like, "What?"
On a scale of 1 to 10, did she have hooves?
No, she was blind though. She like there was no point in being in the club. She didn't know there was music on or anything.
She was
Blind? What?
That's
Doesn't
so
even make,
evil.
doesn't even make sense.
no, she was blind.
No,
She
I
was
got
blind and couldn't hear anything.
I got completely drunk, got ill.
She was
went
ear
home
blind.
in the earballs. And yeah, got completely drunk. Went home. That was my Valentine's Day. Cried into a pillow.
Well done, Jack.
Whilst playing Far Cry 3.
Typical night. How is Far Cry 3, by the way?
He doesn't know he was crying into a pillow.
I was crying into a pillow while playing it. 40 hours in though, and I'm only halfway through. And I got to the second island.
4-0.
4-0. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Anthony had a nice Valentine's adventure. He went to France.
Oh, how was it? A-Rod. Tell us about it.
A-Rod?
A-Rod, that's...
Hot Rod, people
Hot
call
Rod,
him.
that's his
Hot Rod.
nickname,
I actually
Hot
came
Rod.
up with that. He doesn't like it. I
I
abandoned...
thought he loved it.
No, I've stopped trying
That's
to do
why I
that.
never called him that, because I thought he loved it.
No, he hates it.
He prefers Mr. Freeze.
Hot Rod is like one of the... Hot Rod's a really annoying transformer.
Yeah, we were watching Transformers, because obviously...
He's so
Yeah.
whiny all
And
the time.
that one reminded me of you. Well, no.
I
he whines all the
thought
time.
Hot Rod was a film, to be honest.
Anyway,
Oh.
Anthony, how's France?
Oh,
Was it
France
French?
good. Yeah, French. Pretty
Was there
French.
bread and stuff?
There was
Did
bread.
And
Did you have
cheese.
bread?
There was cheese, yeah.
Was it good?
Had an omelette.
Did you go
Oh.
to the Nom de
Cheese.
Plume?
L'omelette.
No, I was in on fleur.
Not
Didn't
Nom
get
de
a chance to see Nom de Plume.
Not the Plume. Not Nom de Plume. It's a shame.
How's Charlotte's leg, James? Did you have a nice Valentine's?
It's alright, it's healing, but I mean, I kind of mashed it a little bit this morning accidentally. It's like I kind of elbowed it, and she started like she wasn't exactly
Elbow
screaming,
someone-
but
How
it
do you
wasn't
elbow
good.
someone's leg?
It's
What, like,
because I was
drop it?
we were lying on the bed. I can't.
Doing
I
like
just-
the
69.
the Rock's elbow on her.
I got
They
up
were-
and it was-
69.
Oh,
it was not good,
Penny.
and so I mean, it's fine as long as I don't cause any permanent injury. It should theoretically heal up. That
What's
if
the,
that does happen, that's not.
So
an
what did you
admission
two?
guilt.
What did you two do for Valentine's?
We went to Ikagen, the Japanese restaurant.
Oh,
in
yeah,
Lanes.
it's
It's
really nice.
delicious.
Where is it?
It's above, the Chinese supermarket, Yum Yum.
In the lanes.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I
It's,
don't
it's the one above that. It
Oh,
was really, it was
okay.
quiet. It's like my favorite restaurant, but nobody was there because nobody knows where it is or why it's there.
Yeah.
Just told them
I
all.
think
Well, yeah.
Bad
Don't go there,
times.
it's mine.
sometimes Valentine's Day restaurants can be quite bad because people just naturally assume it's going to be completely heaving and
Exactly,
busy, so
yeah.
no one goes there.
Yeah, we were
It's
going
that
to go
famous.
to...
It's that paradox.
And they
of-
charge you an
It's
absolute
that paradox
fortune.
of no one ever eats there because it's always busy.
Wait, they charge you more on Valentine's Day?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Everywhere
some
does.
places
They make
do,
a
yeah.
killing.
Well, Ikagen didn't because they're lovely Japanese people, and I don't think they understand
McDonald's
the
didn't
business.
either. Double cheeseburgers for the same price.
Was it just you on your own though,
Just me
Jack?
on my own again, crying
Crying into a pillow.
crying into a pillow. Bought a pillow with me.
Playing Far Cry.
Only you know pillow.
What's that illness called when you purposely keep someone ill for your own pleasure?
Munchausen syndrome.
Yeah.
No, Munchausen's by proxy. Munchausen's is when you keep yourself ill. Munchausen's by proxy is when you keep someone else ill.
I mean, James is Munchausen.
Munchausen Jack, that was horrible. That was not nice. No, she's frail. She just
Valentine's is the one day he's allowed to do that. So.
smooth. Lovely. I'm enjoying this podcast so far.
Yeah, this has been a wheel. Okay, well, let's move on to the game we're going to be talking
Yeah.
about anyway, because that was banter done. Yeah, we're going to talk about Harry Potter on PlayStation 1. Before we do, let's have a brief blurb on the game from chief editor of Psychon.org, Brecky Double K Thompson.
Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is an Electronic Arts multi-platform action-adventure video game developed by UK-based Argonaut Studios for the PlayStation home console. Known as Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone in the US, the title was initially developed for the PlayStation, Microsoft Windows, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and Mac OS X, and was then remade 2 years later for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and Nintendo GameCube platforms. The game was released in November 2001, and despite mixed reviews, went on to sell 8 million copies, making it the best-selling PlayStation game and one of the best-selling games of all time. At the time, at least. The story follows protagonist Harry Potter, who discovers he's a wizard sent to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, where he makes friends and receives magical training, and along with his friends try to stop Lord you-know-who, from returning to power.
Thanks, Brecky. Cool. Dan, you chose Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone / Sorcerer's Stone.
No, Philosopher's Stone. Just because
Well,
the Americans don't know what a philosopher
Trivia,
is, I'm not
but
being
that
punished for
was
it.
for trivia, but yeah, in America it's called Sorcerer's Stone because apparently philosophers to them means like a grumpy old man in a shed working.
What's a philosopher?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Apparently
Exactly.
Sorcerer's Stone is a lot more sensual.
Sorcerers are pretty sensual.
Sorcerers are completely different from philosophers, though.
problem I
That's
have
the
with that
thing.
is that
And the
it's-
Philosopher's Stone is a historical artifact.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, what was the Philosopher's Stone?
It's something that you use to prolong life and also enabled you to turn any metal into gold.
Oh, so-
That's what
so it
alchemy. That's what
it
alchemy was all about.
Okay.
How come he was the search for the Philosopher's
So it
Stone?
was
Yeah.
it was a fictitious thing.
Yeah.
It
No,
wasn't-
they
there is
believed it to be
there isn't
true.
Literally, like a. Is there? Can I go see a Philosopher's Stone somewhere in a museum?
No, it doesn't exist.
Oh,
We
okay.
now know it's fictional, but 500 years ago they believed it to be true.
Unlike the
Oh,
Holy
okay.
Grail,
Like the
which,
Holy
as we all
Grail.
know, does exist from the famous documentary Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
I thought you
Okay.
were going to say.
And Indiana Jones
Indiana
in The Last
Jones.
Crusade. Obviously, when Indiana
You
Jones
have
found it
chosen-
after the Monty Python boys found it.
You have chosen wisely.
So why did you use Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone on PlayStation 1, Lizanne?
Because when I was putting the list together of all the games I wanted to do on the show, I suddenly realised, hang on, I've done way too much Nintendo. I need to show that I'm not just a Nintendo girl, so what else do I love? And I remember when I got this game, it being absolutely amazing, and me and my brother sitting there just loving it and just thinking it was incredible. And now I've gone back to it.
Oh yeah, what did you think? So now you've played it again.
I mean, I still love it, but the graphics. How did I ever like this game? The graphics are appalling. Absolutely appalling. The sound bites aren't great, but yeah, the actual gameplay is really annoying. That peacock level still does my head in. I hate it with a vengeance, but you and Anthony did not get there this time, so
I got to
James
on,
may have
to my
done.
level progress. I think I got to like 32%. It was hard. It was bloody hard. It was.
yeah, you're about 32%. Yeah, no, I picked it because I loved it when I first got it when it came out in 1999. Loved it.
2001.
2001, so absolutely loved it, and yeah, coming back to it now, I'm quite disappointed.
It's,
Okay,
I just want to point out, because you said at the start, on the PlayStation 1, and it's a pretty important distinction to make, especially when it comes to the graphics.
Yes.
Because the PC version, I watched some footage of. Significant difference.
Oh, is
Really?
there a PC version?
Yeah, like the faces are all better. It's not, 6 polygons to a head.
This is a bizarre game because it was released originally on the PlayStation 1, the Game Boy
GameCube.
Color, the Windows, and then the Mac. And then 2 years later was re-released by completely different studios for the Game Boy Advance, Nintendo GameCube, PlayStation 2, and the Xbox. And there were 5 different studios working against this. The one we're talking about, PS1, was made by Argonauts. And
Yeah.
I'll talk about them later. But yeah, there were 5 other studios called Warthog, who broke up, No Wonder, who broke up, Kryptonite, who no longer, Eurocom, that no longer, and Aspire, that no longer.
No wonder they broke up.
Yeah. But, Anthony, what do you think of the game?
Overall, I didn't think it was terrible.
Is that what the script says?
It's what my notes say.
So yes.
Jack kind of caught me out by asking me.
Because you were writing something
So
down.
I'm referring to the things I've written rather than my memory. Overall, not a terrible game, but it's obviously a cash-in on the license. It's basically fan service, right? Which is fine. That's what they want, make money. But it's not a terribly unfun piece of fan service. Like it's quite.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd agree with that.
it's quite charming,
Yeah,
jumping around, collecting stuff.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Although I don't like how they've basically taken the plot, stripped everything they can't shoehorn a minigame into, and then shoehorned a minigame into everything else.
It's true. I agree. I'm trying to think of the plot of Philosopher's Stone. Though is kind of most of the book is just introducing Hogwarts and him kind of
and it's
introducing
yeah, it's
characters.
all
kind of-
it's all exposition and introducing the world that Harry lives in
Well, he goes
now
through a whole
and the
school
Muggle
year.
world.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
true.
the events, the key events in the book only happen in the last week of his first year at Hogwarts. And
Yeah.
it's exactly the same with the pace of the game. Like, it's all pretty much unrelated. There's a couple of events that are related, like catching the Remember All of Malfoy and getting your package back of Peeves and
the
stuff.
first book feels much
But-
more standalone than all the other books.
Well, it is.
Yeah,
She didn't know. She didn't know that they were going to take her on for the rest of
There's
them.
a few kind of what they call throwbacks, though. What they call when you reference something.
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing. There's a few of that in their book that come in a lot later. For example, the mention of Sirius Black's motorbike.
Yeah.
He just mentions that he borrowed a motorbike off Sirius Black at the start of the book. He's like, oh, okay, so she had some.
And
money to-
Dumbledore has the put-outer,
Oh yeah,
which
that's
he
true.
later gives to Ron.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
But I mean, J.K. Rowling did that, and she had no idea when she was going to reference this ever again. She just put stuff there, and then eventually decided to do whatever. Lol, it was all Christianity.
Like Lost.
Sorry, I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter. Like
What-
Lost, yeah. Exactly.
What do you think of the game, James?
I thought it was quite gruesome, actually. I played it. my parents, for one Christmas, they got me a PlayStation 2, and they got me a game for that I can't remember. This was in 2001. I got it at launch. It was like the best year of my life. But I also got this game at the same time. So I got a PlayStation 1 game with my PlayStation 2. It was a weird combo, and I played it then, and I enjoyed it. It was I didn't complete it then, and I didn't complete it again now. But going back to it, I'm struck at how surreal and strange it makes me feel. I mean, in terms of gameplay, it's quite interesting because when you think of sort of wizards in a school, nowadays I think developers would be tempted to create a game that was sort of stuck in one genre, whether it be an RPG or a puzzle game or whatever. But they seem to have gone in a lot of directions, which I can kind of respect, even if it is just a collection of mini games with an overworld connecting them. But what I was impressed by, actually, it struck me this time. I didn't know this beforehand, but listening to the soundtrack, there's something. I mean, there's a lot of ethereal harp music going on, and it's quite nostalgic to me, but not because I played the game before. So I was listening to this, and there are these melodies and kind of harmonies that sound very familiar. And so I googled it, and it turns out that Jeremy Soule composed the soundtrack. He also did Guild Wars 2, Guild Wars 1, Skyrim, Oblivion, Morrowind, and he did
Skyrim.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
So yeah, and that's why it's so familiar. I mean, he's kind of he always does the same thing, just slightly modified. So that's why it's so easy to tell. But it sounds good.
I thought you were going to say because it does the theme tune from the film quite a lot.
No, not that.
Like when you're playing the flute to Fluffy, when you're trying to get him to go to sleep, when you get to the Forbidden Corridor, it's the Harry Potter theme tune that you're playing on the flute.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to mention the fact there's quite a distinct lack of music often in the game. Like when you're walking around a school, I suddenly stopped and went, there's no music in this moment. I was kind of walking around going, there was no music. The music would kick in, but it was always at weird intervals and weird times. I was like, why isn't it now playing music?
Like when you enter that tower, you have to climb vertically.
Yeah, it just suddenly
it's the first
orchestral
instance
piece
of music
came in. I was like,
which was quite nice, but it didn't really have any relevance.
Yeah.
I'd never played it before. I came into it, and I actually really started liking it. I was really quite impressed. I was actually playing it. I think what you were kind of saying was, I like there's loads of little elements to it that I'm surprised they not bothered to do. But I was really impressed, for example, collecting the house points. When there was a bit where you're like, you're in the lead, and I was like, if I actually hadn't collected those, it would have said you're last, and that was really if I was a kid, that would drive me mental.
No, you say that it is actually engineered.
Oh, okay. I thought
because I played it. I played it a lot when I was younger, and yeah, like before I was awesome at flying, I wouldn't get any bonus points for flying, and I would still be in the lead of Slytherin. And then when I then got the flying points, I was still in the lead of Slytherin, but it was by the same margin. So it's all. It's all relative.
Well, I guess, and along with that, I was just quite surprised because a lot of the book, which is annoying, but Harry Potter's sneaking around a lot. He's always sneaking around the school going, like you sneak around.
It's such a shame you didn't get further.
In the game, it's kind of weird because you do wander around the school quite a lot and just wander into rooms.
But it's such a shame you didn't get further because you didn't get to do the bit where you put on the invisibility cloak and then you have to sneak past Filch and Mrs. Norris to get through all the secret bits and secret corridors. You would have loved that.
It quite weirdly, even though it is very badly graphically done, it does seem to capture the essence of the book quite nicely in that respect. That you do all the lessons and you bump into the characters and you walk around. If I was a kid playing this when the book came out, I'd be going mental. This would be awesome. Like, fantastic, I'm in Hogwarts. Obviously, it's really restricted by the hardware because the school's like really everything's blocky. Yeah. Even the grounds of the school outside are like all blocks, all castles. There's lava rivers flowing through it for some reason. But I actually like. But then something really threw me off about the game was when I realised it came out in 2001. Now I just naturally assumed this came out in about 96, 97 because I thought it looked quite basic. It was a PlayStation game, so I thought okay. And I guess it just shows how good the PlayStation was. That there was still when this game came out, it sold 8 million copies. It was the most successful launch size, the most successful launch on the PlayStation 1. Despite the fact that I thought 2000.
Wait, the most successful game for the PS1.
It's the most. Even right now, I think it's currently... At the time, it was the 8th most successful game of all time.
Of all time?
Of all time.
Ever?
At the time. Remember, the 8 million, by today's standards, it's probably about 40th because Black Ops selling like 50 million.
Yeah, if you're Activision, you're losing money on that.
But then I was thinking... So 2001, you had games like Ico, Max Payne, Black and White, Serious Sam, Halo, Metal Gear Solid 2, Project Gotham Racing, GTA 3... Yeah. I know these are all PS2 and Xbox and GameCube, but when you look at this game and you compare this to like, even when I was thinking like, because I thought it must come out maybe just before Ocarina of Time, and it didn't. It came out well after it, so you do kind of think,
why aren't the graphics better?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, but even I know it's PlayStation, but even the design of it was like, I'm not surprised they decided to re-release it 2 years later when they realised that. I wonder if when they started making it, the book wasn't yet as popular. I mean, I don't know how popular the Harry Potter books. I don't know if it was an instant thing that overnight became a success, or it took like a year or two.
It took 2 or 3 years for them to really take off.
I get the feeling they were making this game while the book was still moderately successful. By the
It
time
was
they
when-
finished
it was
it,
when-
was a
This was
huge
after the-
success.
No. It was when the film came out.
The characters are based
Philosopher's-
on the actors from the film.
Yeah,
and the
Philosopher's
models.
Stone movie came out at the same time as this. They developed this alongside the movie, which is why it looks like the movie, which is why the characters are supposed to look like
That's
the
like
actors.
you've got Emma Watson who looks like nothing like Emma Watson. You've got Daniel Radcliffe looks terrible. And then you've got Rupert Grint who's actually completely pixel perfect in a strange eerie representation. And
He was the
matches him
first one
perfectly.
cast. Out of the 3 kids.
If you look at him in game, it's like a photograph. It's identical. It was quite shocking, really.
Dumbledore
but yeah,
looks
so
the worst. Dumbledore.
it was when the movie was released that Harry Potter went crazy, and so this was released
that makes a
in
lot of sense.
conjunction with the movie, which obviously is why this went mental.
But then what was even stranger, which I was looking up reviews at the time, were also actually quite positive for this game.
What's it got on Metacritic?
I don't know. I'm sort of.
I read somewhere, I think I read it on Wikipedia, that someone said that if it wasn't for the IP, this game would never have been made.
At the time, on the 9th of November 2001, IGN gave this 8 out of 10.
Yeah, but it's IGN. I mean,
Game Pro gave it 3.5 out of 5. Superplay gave it 6 out of 10, and it goes down. Honest Games gave it 4 out of 10. GameSpot gave it 4 out of 10. It was a real mixed bag.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of I even got some quotes from review because they were actually quite interesting what people were saying. Did I not? Yeah, I have got the piece of paper right. GameSpot praised the developers' efforts for the PlayStation version in creating a Hogwarts castle, different looking characters, but it said the game's graphics are extremely jagged polygons. IGN, I don't really know why, but they gave it 8 out of 10, but also said like the digital equivalent of a Ron Weasley hand-me-down. Their review was I read their review, it was all over the place. But yeah, and then there was a lots of things. ComputerVideoGames.com said it was a curiously flat experience and not helped by the chronically jerky frame rate. When you go into the Grand Hall, the frame rate's probably the worst I've ever seen in a game.
Yes, no, it is
I was
appalling.
like, I can't believe that got through because it's like developed. Oh, it's awful.
But Jack, that list you've just read out loud kind of illustrates how ridiculous it is to sort of base any real opinion of the game on reviews. I mean, someone recently gave the new Aliens game like 9 out of 10. I forget, it wasn't Eurogamer. It was someone relatively respected. But they gave it a 9 out of 10, and that's like, I mean, why are you reading these people? They're obviously just being paid.
Like Edge or EGM or something?
Yeah, but that's
It
how
was
you.
EGM.
But that's also how you can tell whether or not a film is any good by which newspapers and magazines have given them 5 stars. Because those are the ones they quote. Like, I know if a film has been given 5 stars by the Daily Mail, it's probably not going to be my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Or Heat magazine. I'm not going to want to see that.
This film was really scary, 5 stars.
If I see a film poster
It's just
with,
gonna hit like, no.
if I see a film poster with ain'titcoolnews.com, I don't trust it at all. I'm just like, no. 'Cause I don't
Well,
like
they
that
liked
website.
Fired Up, and I like Fired Up, so I trust them forever.
I only ever base films on IMDb.
Fired Up is very
I don't
good.
even read reviews. It's just
Yeah,
if
I
IMDb
base it on
doesn't if it's not
IMDb.
above 7, I'm not watching it. I don't care.
No, I use Rotten Tomato.
So
It's like a average.
I use Metacritic, I guess, but I believe I prefer critics' reviews more than people as well. I don't.
I
like
prefer that for
people
games, but
reviews.
for films, I think people tend to be more on the ball in terms of rating them. I don't know why.
I wanted to say before it becomes irrelevant again, there's a good chance it seems to me that maybe they developed this on the PS1 even though the PS2 was coming out.
Yeah.
Because it was cheaper to do that. And it was basically a cash grab tie-in. And for the PS1, I think these graphics are pretty much on par.
Yeah, they are.
Like
I
that.
think that's what's
Most of the
that's
games
what
you
I-
gave as an example were on the PS2, so that's not...
Crash Bandicoot 3 was PS1.
does
And
look-
the graphics for Crash Bandicoot 3 are a lot better than this one.
Have you played it recently?
Yes.
'Cause
when we did the Crash Bandicoot episode, I completed Crash Bandicoot really early, and so then played 2 and 3 straight after. And 3, the graphics are better than this.
This I think Anti's right though because there's right because there are moments in this where like you'll turn and like a textual stretch.
Yeah.
It's not bad graphics. That's like a bug. It's like that. That's
Yeah,
I saw
and
that.
things disappear and reappear from
But
the
it-
screen.
there are
makes
a lot of
sense.
clipping issues and stuff
Yes.
as well.
It makes sense that Naughty Dog, assuming that's who made Crash 3,
Yes, they did.
would put more effort into their love child than the 5 studios who made this
Well, yeah,
would
that's
put into
true.
a
That's
movie
true.
tie-in. So I think, for the PS1, this is pretty standard.
One on that quick. Sorry, James, you were going to say something.
I'm not sure I totally agree, but let's say this is standard for the sort of late PS1 generation.
Oh, don't forget
This
Resident
is-
Evil.
This is just... think about late SNES games, even PC games of the same time, sort of even Nintendo 64 games, because they were so colourful. This is so repulsively ugly to behold. If you look at this,
graphically,
it makes me feel uncomfortable. It's not right. And that, I mean, the PlayStation 1...
Malfoy's face, he does look a bit downsy.
Exactly. And all of the games on the PlayStation 1, for some reason, be it art direction or just technological limitation, they've aged so much more badly than any other platform.
It's early 3D, isn't it?
The first generation of 3D games is pretty bad.
Yeah.
But they still on an
however,
abstract
the only
level,
thing, the thing about the PlayStation, this is why, because this came out in 2001, so the same year this came out after Halo, for example. But I think this kind of shows as well that how much of a lifespan the PlayStation and the PlayStation 2 had. Well, at PlayStation 2, they were still selling a hell of a lot of copies of games for the PlayStation 2 way into the PS3's life, like 3 years.
I also
and that was
have
the same for the PS1. It carried on till about 2002. That was only when, like, years after it kind of the PS2 had come out.
When was the PS1 released?
PS1 was released in 94, 95, I want to say, 95, I think.
That's funny because a 7-8 year lifespan's considered long for that, but the current generation is going to go on for like 10.
Well,
12,
the PS2
whatever.
was released in 99, I think I want to say. Maybe
I thought it was 2001.
No,
the PS2 was
Well, no, because why did they release this in 2001 on the
99.
PS1 then?
No, the Dreamcast was 99.
They didn't.
So I reckon the
PS2, I was not in year 9 when the PS2
Xbox
came
and
out.
the GameCube came out about a year after. They came out in 2001. They came out about a year after PS2. So I think the PS2 was 2000.
Okay,
Because Dreamcast was 99.
And they probably still made it for the PlayStation because there was just a bigger market for PlayStation. And
people already had
There were
PlayStations.
more
It's the same
kids that had
It's the same as
PlayStation.
Pokemon on the DS after the 3DS had been out for ages.
Yeah, there's still a market for these people buying these games. I was going to say, when you were talking quickly about the studio that made it and stuff, it's quite interesting, just a bit of trivia. The people who made it's called Argonaut Studios that closed down in about 2004. They were a studio that... They're one of these studios in the UK, you get every so often development studios who basically get known as the go-to people, where if you need a film IP made, you need to make it quick, you don't need a good game, you just want to make it quick, on time, on budget, you go to them, and Argonauts were that. Eurocom used to be like that as well, up in Derby. But what's really interesting about Argonauts is that most of the people who worked at Argonauts, obviously when it closed, they all went off for everything. And the group who made, quite a few people who made this game went on to make Rocksteady, who obviously made Batman Arkham City. So I worked for Rocksteady for a little while. It was just quite interesting to play this because, for example, the production team, you had Jamie Walker, he's the head of studio now at Rocksteady. One of the programmers, Ben White, he's the lead programmer at Rocksteady. One of the QA, Ian Ball, he's now a coder at Rocksteady, and he basically coded and designed the Batman fight mechanics in Arkham City and Arkham Asylum. And he was a QA on this game.
Oh, cool.
So it's quite interesting. And Argonaut's one of those ones, the studio, when they broke up, everyone went everywhere and set up all the other studios. It is happening at the moment, actually, because a lot of studios are closed down and you're getting a lot of new indie studios starting up that are slowly getting bigger. And it's a weird life cycle that goes around. So it's quite interesting to play this. Because after this, they did like Catwoman, and that was the game that was a bad game. But it's just interesting. Anyway, sorry. And you mentioned something last week that I want to quickly talk about, because when you said it, I went, oh, I don't think that even exists. You said you thought this was based more on the book than the film. Because they had to, because the film wasn't really out yet. They could only work off like pre-production.
But did you? Because it's just such a shame you didn't get to the Peeves level, because that is because they did.
He's not in the film, is he, Peeves?
But they filmed Rick Mayall as Peeves. They filmed it all for the movie. They did it. And obviously they were given access to that footage because when you see Peeves the Ghost in this, it is Rick Mayall's voice. Well, it's a voice actor pretending to be Rick Mayall's. And he looks like Rick Mayall as well because that's what he was going to be. And I like that. And he got cut out of the movie and they never put him in any of them.
I've only just started reading the Harry Potter books and the first thing that hit me was who the hell is this Peeves character? Because he's not in the films. I was really confused. I was like, I don't remember Peeves. Like, the Red Baron, I think, is in the films. Very, very, very small. I think there's one bit where a character goes, oh, look, it's the Red Baron, and that's it. And
it's not the Red Baron.
Bloody Baron.
Nearly Bloody Baron and
sorry.
Nearly Headless Nick.
Nearly Headless Nick's in it a bit more. Because he's in this with his head falling off. It's quite nice.
Red Baron was the guy who...
Which is John
flew the
Cleese,
plane.
did you notice?
Yeah,
they managed to get John Cleese.
Oh, that is actually his voice, is it?
No, it's not John... No, it's meant to be John Cleese.
Oh, it's meant to be John Cleese.
None of these are the real voices.
None of these are the voice actors.
None of these are the real voices, no.
I was going to quickly ask,
Grint.
you said something like, you said video games based on books. Now, I've never thought about that because I had to look it up because I honestly can't think of any video games based on books.
Top of my head.
Go on.
Dune.
Doom's not based on a book.
Dune. With an
Dune.
N.
Dune.
Do you mean Dune?
You're saying it like an American.
But was
man
Dune
saying.
based on the
Dune,
film that was based on the book?
No, Dune 1 was based on the book, as far as I know.
Is that the RTS?
Okay.
Did you not
No.
play?
Well-
Did you not play Clockwork Orange on the Dreamcast?
Well, no, I had a quick look. I had a quick look up about what games were directly based on books. So you had Conan games are based on the books. Alice in Wonderland games are based on the books.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them. Discworld, based on a book. Dracula games like Castlevania, based on a book, and then, and I need to research this guy or girl a bit more, H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, that's a guy.
There
Yeah,
was
it's
just
like-
a
are there
list
Cthulhu
of games
games?
based on them. Yeah,
Yeah,
Cthulhu
really?
games. Amnesia: The Dark Descent apparently is based on that. Quake: Alone in the Dark. And there's some other games that came up with Romance of the Three Kingdoms and the Lord of the Rings games based on books, arguably. But
They
generally,
have the characters from the films, though.
yeah, that's the thing.
The
That's why I don't
actors
think that
models.
counts. So games based on books.
Well, I
like,
think they mean
there
the
aren't
early Lord of the
any.
Rings games, not the new
All
ones.
right. Oh,
So it would have been interesting that if they'd never made this into films, and I mean they were going
Did
to.
you never
but-
read the Chronicles of Pac-Man?
No, but that would be a film based on a
Or the terrible
book
tragedy of
based on
Tetris?
a book based. Which, let's be honest, every book ever based on a video game is awful. Sorry, but that's just a known thing.
Well, every
now.
film based on a
oh,
video
actually, I've
game
got
is
another one for
terrible.
you, Jack. The Witcher games were based on novels.
Oh, yeah?
originally. Yeah, which is weird.
Well, it's a shame because I'd love to have seen. I'd love to see a game come out before the film. Like, it would have been just interesting to see, say, Game of Thrones made into a game, and then the TV show came out.
Did you see that 16-bit RPG parody of Game of Thrones?
I didn't
Yes.
know
If it had been made into
Yes,
yeah, that was awesome.
amazing. I loved that. It was
So it would
brilliant.
work. I'm going to look up Dune now and see if it was...
June, stop
Why-
saying it like a weirdo.
Why do you think video games are not based on books more? Like, we've had books like, say, I'm trying to think of the most popular book recently, like 50 Shades of Grey. There's a good reason for
They're
that
doing
one.
a movie.
Okay, but okay, I'm just trying to think of a really popular book that's not yet become a film. I'm like, Life of Pi could have been a game.
That's a
first.
film.
That's a film.
I know, but that's a film now. I know. I'm trying to think of. I don't read books. That's the
I
problem.
think-
I
think
don't
it-
read books.
I think it
I
more
play
often
games.
goes film to game rather than book to game because films are a visual medium and
Yeah,
games are very visual
exactly.
as well. So you can...
But why do films then become from books?
Because they have
it's
great
logical
stories.
Stuff.
And
if there's
films are more. Well, more people go watch movies than play video games, so therefore there's a bigger market.
Games are a young medium.
Think about the process
Yeah.
of making a film. I mean, you have all the cast there, and then you have the guy who writes the screenplay, and you get that, and then you make the film from that. A book is essentially a pre-written screenplay already, so
Yeah.
you've got that, and then you can just make it into the film. It's faster.
But yeah, it was just interesting because, like, I honestly, when I sat, I had to Google it because I couldn't think of anything. I couldn't think of any game that was based on a book. I know you just said Dune, but I'm still kind of like
June, why are you
June,
saying
sorry,
it weird
June.
as well?
Because when I say it like that, it sounds like June the month, and I don't want to get that mixed up.
I tried to read
Well,
Dune.
pronounce it properly. It's June.
I tried to read Dune,
July.
and I got about 200 pages in and went, "Oh, sod this." The boy
Dune's-
hadn't even left the planet yet. I was like, "Sod this." I'm
Dune's
out.
amazing, Jack.
I'm out. It was so big.
You just
I-
stressed-
It's
I
my
just went,
favourite
"Sod
book."
this."
It's a good choice.
Maybe that's why I know the game.
Did any of you ever play any of the rest of the Harry Potter games?
No.
Yeah.
There's been loads. Though. There's been like
Well, there's
12.
one. There's one for every film.
I
I
played-
have them all.
There's like Quidditch World Cup as well.
Yeah, I've got
And
that.
they've got Harry Potter Connect now as well.
Yeah, I don't have that. I have them all up to Order of the Phoenix.
All of them. Sorry.
Yes. I have them all up to Order of the Phoenix, and they're all completely different from each other.
Yeah.
Completely different
Every
gameplay,
single one's
completely different
everyone's
style. Yeah,
different
like
ones.
this.
The studio.
This is a simple level puzzler kind of thing. You know, it's very you can't go off the beaten track with it kind of thing. But by the time you go to Order of the Phoenix, because I started playing Order of the Phoenix yesterday, after I hurt my thumb and couldn't play any proper games, I played Order of the Phoenix. I've got it on the Wii, and it's completely different. You've got complete free access to the whole of the Hogwarts grounds from the first moment, and you have to use the Marauders map to get around the place and stuff. And graphically, it's obviously a million times better, but still not quite perfect. But every single game is completely different. I remember Goblet of Fire. Yes, you do the Triwizard tournament towards the end, but you have to spend so much time doing all these little random quests that aren't in the book.
Do you know? I
and
remember
things like
playing
that.
one on the PC that you use the mouse to draw spells, and I think that might have been Chamber of Secrets. But I had to stop playing because the whole drawing spells, you couldn't get it right. Like it was like a spiral on the screen.
Well,
and
to
you-
be honest, even the Xbox.
Well,
and
no,
the
you have to
GameCube-
do that. You have to do that on the Wii.
No, this was before the Wii.
Oh,
So I think
okay.
it must be the
Well, no,
PC.
that's for Order of the Phoenix. Sorry,
Even the Xbox and GameCube
I only had the others on
versions
PS2.
of
I didn't have them on PC.
Philosopher's
Okay.
Stone that came out like 2 years after are very different from this game. They
Yeah.
they took the same template, but they basically just changed it. To
Well,
something
it's probably because they use
completely
different
It was
developers
really
each
weird.
time, right?
Yeah, they did. They just kept changing developers.
They just want the money. They don't care about the.
It's EA.
continuity.
Whoever cuts in the lowest to say we'll make that game, they just give it to them.
I was mildly interested in the newest one, which is
Connect.
one of the latest ones, not the Connect one,
Yeah.
the one before.
Deathly
Are you talking
Hallows.
about the Gears of War one?
Yeah, Gears of War, Harry Potter.
Yeah. Well, did they do part 1 and 2 as well for the games of Deathly Hallows? I think they did, right?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I
I
thought they
bought
did 2
right. Do you know
games
what?
for it. Don't forget Lego
I
Harry Potter.
got Order of the Phoenix on the Wii. Absolutely brilliant game. No, it was absolutely brilliant. I loved it. Hours of gameplay. It was wonderful. Got Half-Blood Prince for the Wii. Well excited. No, I completed it in
Why are
2
you playing them
hours.
backwards? Did you say you played Deathly Hallows and then you played Half-Blood Prince?
No, I played Order of the Phoenix and then
Oh,
Half-Blood
Order of
Prince.
the Phoenix. Sorry for the Deathly Hallows.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got Half-Blood Prince on release, and it took me 2 hours to complete. I went back to game that same day and said, I've just completed this. I'm really not happy.
Takes a lot.
Sort it out.
Takes a lot of balls to go into game with Harry Potter going, I've completed this and I want another one. I wouldn't
Well,
have the
no,
guts.
just because well, you float with the sales guys, obviously, being a
Which,
girl, it works.
You know.
I remember
But
playing a
yeah.
Harry Potter game at your place where I spent about 10 minutes bumping a book into Hermione's ass because it had waggle controls. So was that?
That's Order of the Phoenix.
Oh yeah, great game.
Great game. Brilliant
Great game.
The only thing I've said about Harry Potter world, though, it actually would be it's a universe that would relate really well to. I know it's our universe, but it's a world that would relate very well to a video game. I think, especially the Wii with the wand actions, all that stuff.
It is
It
brilliant.
should be awesome.
No, and it is completely based on how you use the Wii
because-
controller as to which spell you cast.
Because the world
It's
is so
brilliant.
magical, and in every book she comes up with new things, like, oh, there's the night bus that travels at thousands of speeds. They could basically just come up with anything they wanted, and it'd be acceptable because it's magic. Anything
Yeah.
can happen in
Well,
magic.
On that topic, it always seems to me that the best tie-in games don't follow the plots of the movies they tie in with. Like the Batman games, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City,
GoldenEye?
are fantastic. Well, GoldenEye's a special exception, I think.
Yeah,
GoldenEye isn't
exceptions
really
to
a
the
tie-in
rule.
though. It has the name, but it's not.
Well, it follows the
What's
plot.
the plot of the film?
But they're just
Yeah,
like
well,
first-person shooter level, so it's not exactly the same scenes and everything. But the Arkham games are fantastic Batman games, but that's because they don't try to be the Batman that's in the films.
But they take. I agree. If what you're trying to say is that they should take Harry Potter and do a bit of a separate thing,
They should do like
in
a
the
complete,
universe.
separate. Not even maybe
They
Harry
should take.
Potter.
They should
just-
take a character who's mentioned once
Larry
in the
Potter.
books and make a story. They should do a story, but then again, I don't think J.K. Rowling would allow that.
Yeah,
To
probably
build
not.
Rowling.
a story would allow a story outside of her thing because they've
No,
had
she
trouble with
wouldn't.
that before. I mean, I'm trying to think of other examples where they've tried to make a story outside of the universe.
Barry
the
Trotter.
like the Matrix games. They did Enter the Matrix, which was a separate storyline from the films that the Wachowski
But that-
brothers had to sign on to let them do and stuff.
That was really interesting because Enter the Matrix was part of the film plot that you
yeah.
didn't see, so you had to play the game to see what they were doing.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a really good way to do it because
And
that
no
is
one's
still.
ever tried to do that since because it was a bit of a disaster.
Yeah.
Well, the game was awful.
Is
Well,
that-
you have
didn't
to
they shut
get-
that down. Is that done?
No, that was the MMO. Enter
Oh,
the
is that
Matrix
not
was
the
a
MMO?
single player.
There was a game just called Enter the Matrix.
Oh, it was that
and
the one with
you-
the girl
you
with the
played,
yeah,
yeah,
red leather coat.
Jaden Pinkett Smith.
Plinkett.
Will
Pinkett.
Smith.
Pinkett.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh,
But,
I like that
Will
game.
Smith's wife.
You like that game?
That was
Yeah.
awesome. It was so
Smith's wife.
good. It was great.
Yeah, but that was. I think you have to get a filmmaker who will agree to have a chunk of the story missing so you can make a game out of it, which is not going to happen a lot.
I did some research at my work into social media about Harry Potter and generally what people say about Harry Potter. Do you know what the most liked in order, the most liked books were?
Number 3 is going to be the top.
Yeah, Azkaban.
Oh no, weirdly, the most positively talked about is Philosopher's Stone, then The Prisoner of Azkaban, and then The Chamber of Secrets.
Oh, that's weird.
With
Chamber
the
of Secrets
last
is
one,
not my
the
favourite.
least liked,
thought it was the worst.
the least,
It's
the
Order
most,
of the Phoenix.
the most negatively spoken of. So bear in mind, there's
It's
a
Order of the
positive
Phoenix.
and negative. The most negatively spoken of is Chamber of Secrets,
Yeah.
and then Half-Blooded Prince, then Deathly Hallows, which is weird.
See, I loved Deathly
I
Hallows.
thought Deathly
Overall-
Hallows was a massive crock of. It wasn't very good
Yeah,
because of the ending. Obviously, it was like, oh, God.
but the
What are you on
overall,
about? It was great.
it was not great.
overall,
It
the
was
most-
awesome.
It was such a cop out. It was Deus Ex Machina. It was, oh, hey, and then Jesus came and saved everyone.
Wait. Jesus turned up?
To be honest, James.
Oh, wait, you're
it's
talking about Harry being Jesus in
He's-
J.K. Rowling's Bible
he's
of
Jesus.
series.
rolling.
What?
Rolling.
More literature. Jack,
How is
have
he
you read them
Jesus?
all? He
I know
literally
the
rises
story.
from the dead.
He does rise from the dead with
Does
the
he?
resurrection stone. Yeah, he does.
It's not as if he's the only person who's ever
Wait,
risen
you've
from the dead
seen the
apart from Jesus.
films?
I was so bored by the Deadly Hollows.
Deathly.
So bored.
Oh my god, you're such a
I'm
loser.
reading. I started reading all the books about 4 months ago. Got through the first 3 in about a month. Like
It wasn't
blitzed
4 months
them.
ago. He mentioned it on the podcast. It was not 4 months.
Okay, but no. Actually, I'm probably exaggerating because Order of the Phoenix has taken me about a month and a half, and I'm so bored reading it.
I told you,
just
move on to
going on.
Half-Blood Prince. It's much better.
I
No, a lot of
I
people
like
said me
that
the
one.
Half-Blood Prince is just as bad, apparently.
No, it's
So I'm
much
like, oh, screw
better.
this.
Is Half-Blood Prince the one with all the camping and stuff, or is that the final one?
That's the last one.
Oh, okay.
Any more? And the only other thing I was going to say was that overall the most liked book generally is Philosopher's Stone, and the most controversial is Chamber of Secrets. Lots of people love it, lots of people hate it for some reason. And the most commonly associated word on the internet with Harry Potter is dark. Well, that's quite nice. Dark for some reason.
Well,
And
that's because the
most
series
commonly-
turned very dark.
I guess so, yeah. People talking about, especially when I've been reading it, Neville Longbottom's parents getting tortured in a mental home.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus, JK, what are you up to?
Yeah. Well, it could have been.
Anthony,
It could have been Harry's parents, which you'd known about if you'd
No,
have
but
read the book.
there's a bit where, and I
It
was
was either going to be
genuinely-
Neville or Harry, and
like people have
Snape
said, like,
made
Oh,
Voldemort go
yeah,
after
I
Harry's
forgot about that,
parents.
That's right. There was also a bit in one of the later books where you can hear Hermione being tortured and like you can
Yeah,
hear
you
screaming
can.
and stuff.
Oh, I haven't got to that bit
That's
yet. But
no, that's in Deathly Hallows when they're trapped in
Yeah.
the Malfoy's
There's a-
basement.
That bit was creepy.
there's a
That's
little
good.
bit where he's in the Mongo's hospital or something. He's in the mental, and they bump into
Mungos.
and they bump into Neville, and his Neville's mum, who's obviously lost it, goes over to him, gives him a sweet wrapper.
Yeah.
And she goes, Harry's sure he noticed that Neville put it into his pocket. And I was like, oh, that's really touching. I was like, oh, that's horrible, JK. You're poisoning our youth. Anthony, do you have any other points you'd like to make about the game, which we've completely gone on a tangent and not talked about
I've
the
got
game
more
for like
stuff as
15
well,
minutes.
but-
Go on, Anthony.
Oh, the game. I mentioned earlier that I found it. Well, my summary was charming cash-in, since that's alliterative. But some of the parts I found charming because I noted them. The fact
Of the 1/3 of the game that you played.
Sure. The fact that you could slide down banisters, even though the banisters weren't banisters, they were like solid blocks of
I
concrete.
didn't know you could do that.
Oh yeah, you go on the slope in Hogwarts and you start sliding down it. I found that awesome.
That if you'd have gone further in the game, that's training for the Peeves level, where you have to race Peeves through the rafters
what?
in the attic.
That would have been 10 points from Gryffindor, though, if that was in real life. Say that. Carry on.
Well, that happened like by accident because I was standing on the banister and I thought I just.
That would have been 10 points from Gryffindor, Jack. That was appalling.
Carry on.
I thought I'd just run down it, but then he slid, and I was really happy. And also, from later on in the game in Gringotts, the sliding floor when you're picking up documents and going through the like, flying through the
What
vaults.
did you think of the minecart levels?
They were just like ridiculous.
You didn't play them though. You watched them on
No,
a Let's
I
Play.
watched them, but well, what I was saying earlier is that they shoehorned these mini games into the plot. Basically, they ignored any justification the plot had. Like a bank wouldn't have the coins just floating around midair.
Yeah.
The minecarts would get you to it, but you never saw a vault. You know, you just
Yeah.
go past them and picked up random gems, which is not how banks should work. But the sliding floor I found really funny because it was like a genuine not a genuine laugh out loud. It would be a laugh out loud moment if I laughed out loud very
Breathe
often.
out loudly through your nose moment.
Yeah. So I found that charming because it was like they've buffed it so much that he's sliding everywhere, and that was quite a funny joke they never really picked up on, or never really pointed out to you. And so that's what I mean by charming. It had little moments,
Yes.
which makes sense because these guys went on to make Rocksteady good games. Obviously, there was some good, talented people in the studio.
Oh, yeah, no, it's just... It always surprised me when like a studio closes down like Eurocom, people go, well, no surprise they made those rubbish games. But I don't realise that, you know, every game studio has talented people. They just need to be given that chance to make a good game. And you could see in this, there are elements of it being a really good game. You could see that actually if they were given a bit more hardware, a bit more processing, this would be a really fun game.
Yeah.
It's nice.
See, one of the key things about this game that I think shows some real care and attention was when you're going through the Forbidden Corridor and you're doing all these final levels to get to Voldemort, and you know you put Fluffy to sleep and then you fight the Devil's Snare and then you have to catch the right key, so you got to use your Quidditch skills and stuff, and then you get to the Wizard's Chess. Do you remember it, James?
From the book?
From the video game?
No, I don't remember.
You
from
don't remember the game, and
I
you
don't
two
remember
obviously
how-
didn't get
I
there.
didn't get there.
No, it's brilliant. There's 3 levels, and it doesn't follow the actual moves of chess because it assumes that the player doesn't know how to play chess. So it's basically you move 1 square, then all the other pieces move 1 square towards you, so they can move in a straight line and they can move diagonal.
Right.
And so they've just got to move close to you, and you have to get them to kill each other by landing on the same square
Oh, that's cool.
without them hitting you.
quite
And
nice
so
design.
you've then got to puzzle it out and move forward and move backwards to try and get them to maneuver towards each other to hit each other. And I really enjoy that still because you still it's still trial and error when you're going through it as to how you're going to get these pieces to kill each other. And I really enjoy that. I don't enjoy the final battle with Voldemort at the end because after you've done the initial hitting him you have to knock down these pillars to hit him, then you have to use the Mirror of Erised to strike him, and once you've done that enough times, then it goes to a first person point of view with Voldemort Quirrell on top of you grunting loads, and you're going and then it says, and then you have to press the square button for energy, and then suddenly it'll go X, touch Quirrell, and then you press X, you touch him, and then he goes because you've just touched him, and then he goes right back on top of you to go and all like
There wasn't a lot of
at
grunting
you, and
in
it's
this game.
really
Whenever Harry Potter
really
jumps, he goes,
disturbing.
That is the type of allegory that I appreciate.
I didn't
beautiful.
notice. I didn't notice it when I was younger playing this
What's the
game.
name
But
of-
watching it now, I was really uncomfortable.
What's the name of the boss? Like the end boss guy?
Well, it's Voldemort Quirrell
Well, now I get to...
because it's Professor
now
Quirrell with
I get to put you-
Voldemort.
Now I
Voldemort.
get
It's
to...
Jack,
now I get to put
Jack,
you in your
it's-
place
it's-
because the
no,
T is...
let me finish!
The T is silent.
It's Professor Quirrell with Voldemort in the back of his head.
Yeah, no, but the T is silent in Voldemort because it comes from the French word meaning flight of death. Just so you know. So could you make sure you pronounce
Yes,
it
no,
correctly?
I know that, Jack.
Voldemort.
However, like everyone
Really?
that has seen the films, everyone pronounces it Voldemort.
But as well, doesn't the word mort
that's
in
the
Latin
thing.
mean dead or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we get
Well, I don't know.
that's where we get
All I
rigor
know
mortis
is
from.
J.K. Rowling in an interview said she wished people would stop saying Voldemort. 'Cause it's
Yeah, but
actually
she also
Voldemort.
said that Dumbledore was gay. What does she know?
That's true though.
She's just some.
He was
woman.
well it. What I was going to say, when they made the film,
It's Voldemort.
we're running really low on time, so I'm going to go into unless any other points.
Just one more. I've just realised I've been playing chess wrong my entire life, based on his subscription.
Yeah,
No,
I
I said
thought-
it doesn't follow the proper chess rules.
No, I was just kidding.
Okay.
James.
I was just gonna. What is your favorite movie tie-in game? Just quickly, would you say? I'm guessing you're gonna think Batman.
Movie
Well,
tying
that's not
game
really
ever.
a movie tie-in.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
an IP tie-in.
Wasn't there? Was that not based on the
No.
The Arkham games are kind of they're just basically the
Standalone.
Batman universe with Batman. Favorite movie tying game.
Harry Potter and Order of the Phoenix. That's mine.
Fair enough.
I mean, the classic
Until
is
they make a
GoldenEye,
Crash
but
It's going to be
Bandicoot movie.
GoldenEye, right?
but that's aged awfully. GoldenEye.
No.
Aged terrible.
GoldenEye is aged.
Why
Not
haven't they made a
compared-
Zelda movie?
Because Nintendo would
Why?
never allow it. They allowed.
But they allowed the Mario Brothers.
And look what happened.
Well, that's true.
It had dinosaurs in it.
All the
Yeah.
Mario games have dinosaurs in them.
I know, but they're cute dinosaurs, not like Velociraptors from Jurassic Park.
That was on yesterday. Did you watch
I
it?
can't. I
No,
can't
Sunday.
Think,
It was on a Sunday.
I can't
It's
think
amazing.
of a really good film game tie-in recently.
Just go with GoldenEye.
It doesn't have to be good. Just your favorite, or at least atrocious.
Yeah, no, I'd have to go. To be honest, I'd have to go through my game collection. I honestly, I can't think of the last time I bought a
Game to film tie-in.
The,
Tomb Raider.
The
I
Lord of
really love the Lara Croft movie.
the Lord of the Rings games back on the PS2 and the Xbox were actually pretty good.
Yeah, they weren't
I remember
bad.
enjoying
They were
those.
alright.
Trivia. Most of the trivia is about the films, to be honest, because there wasn't much for the video game. So,
Well, should we really bother? Because
so let's
we're all
ask a quick question. What was the least successful Harry Potter film?
film
Yeah,
Order of the Phoenix.
Order of Phoenix.
Prisoner of Azkaban. But
What is the best one?
despite it being the least successful, it made $90 million more than the most successful Twilight movie. When they were making Philosopher's Stone, they had to reshoot all the scenes where they say Philosopher's Stone and replace it with Sorcerer's Stone for the American market. The actress who played Moaning Myrtle was 37 at the time. Mm-hmm. She was the oldest actor to play a child in the school. If you go to King's Cross in North London, which I've got to do this now, there is actually
Have you not done it?
platform 9 3/4. There's a little commemoration which
That
shows
was
a
my-
trolley sticking halfway through the wall.
That was my
apparently.
Facebook profile picture when I first joined Facebook in 2005.
How
8 years ago I did that, Jack.
I didn't know that was there. I need to go
How
to King's
many
Cross.
It's a
kids get
thing!
concussed there every single day, just running straight into
Well, no.
the wall?
There's already a trolley half in the wall.
leaping over the trolley, just head first into the bricks.
It's like first
Carrying
aid
an
on
owl.
Lawsuit waiting to happen.
When director Alfonso Cuarón, I'm going to guess how they say his name.
Sauron.
Whatever. When he was directing, I think that's the third film he did, didn't he?
Yeah, Azkaban.
He asked all the characters to write, see if they knew their characters well. They asked them to write an essay on their characters. Emma Watson wrote a 16-page essay. Daniel Radcliffe wrote a simple 1-page paper, and Rupert Grint didn't even turn his in, just like the character.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
Did you get this off IMDb? Because I know
Pretty
all
much.
these.
I
I
pretty
do
much-
know all these.
Well, that's because you're a huge Harry Potter nerd. That's why.
Harry
Have you
Potter,
got any-
awesome fan.
Have you got
Hold
any
on.
trivia about the game, Jack?
I have no. There's not really. That's the thing that's annoying.
Okay.
Maybe we should move on then, because we're supposed to be talking
No,
about
we
the
should
game.
talk about the movie.
I was
for
well
another
impressed that
half hour.
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong wanted to do Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows.
Oh, that
He
would have been
asked for him to
appalling.
do
I'm
them.
so glad they didn't
Michael
let him.
Jackson approached J.K. Rowling, asking if she wanted to do a musical with him directing it, which I think was just an excuse to be around little
I
children.
thought you were going to say you wanted to be one of the young kids.
And there's only one film where Hogwarts does not appear.
Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Part 1.
Ah, yeah.
The only film, although the Hogwarts Lake does briefly appear in the final scene. And yeah, I was going to say, Rowling revealed Dumbledore was gay after Half-Blood Prince because of the fact he apparently fallen for his childhood buddy Grindelwald.
Grindelwald.
So yeah, they want to have any other little points I wanted to make? I think we've covered everything, haven't we, about the game?
I enjoy the mini games.
I'm trying to think if there's
They're
anything
fun.
about- Yeah, not a bad game. Okay, well, we better get into the retrograde part of the show. Dan, you chose it. How are we gonna thing? And don't say spells. You're gonna say spells, aren't you? I don't
No.
know the spells.
No. If you were going to put this game into a house in Hogwarts, which one would you put it in and where?
What voice was that?
I don't know. It's just a random voice.
What house would you have been in if you went to Hogwarts? What house?
I'd be in Gryffindor.
I'd be in Ravenclaw.
No, you're not clever enough to be in
How would you be
Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw? Come on. I'd be
Ravenclaw's the cleverest
Ravenclaw.
one. You would be Hufflepuff.
He'd be Hufflepuff.
You
I
would
think I would
totally
be
be Hufflepuff.
Slytherin.
No, you wouldn't. You're too nice.
I could.
You're too nice
I
to be a
could-
Slytherin.
I
You're
could
too thick
definitely-
to be in Ravenclaw.
I could definitely murder a mofo.
No.
You're so Hufflepuff.
You are so
And whenever
Hufflepuff.
I
It's
read the books,
untrue.
whenever Malfoy makes a joke at Rob, like when they sing that song to him, I was kind of chuckling away, going,
No, you weren't. You're a Hufflepuff. Me and Auntie easily Gryffindor. I can imagine James being a Slytherin or a Ravenclaw.
Why would I be Slytherin?
No, because you're cool enough.
But they're dicks.
You always wear
So
black.
you can be.
You always
so
wear
you can
black.
be.
I don't always wear black.
You
You're
do
wearing
always
black
wear
right
black.
now.
I'm in mourning.
But I think you could also be in
My
Ravenclaw.
self-esteem.
Yeah.
I would be Ravenclaw. That's cool, guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna murder you on your
Um,
sleep. Slytherin.
Jack thinks he could be in Ravenclaw.
No, I'm trying to think what house this game would be in.
I've got one. It'd be in Hufflepuff.
I was going to say that as well.
No,
Hufflepuff.
I don't need to explain that.
I think it would be in Gryffindor because Gryffindor are the brave, right? And
Yeah.
I think this game was very brave and ambitious, but also just like Harry and the rest of Gryffindors, they used to get into a lot of trouble, and this game gets into a lot of trouble when it wants to in terms of graphics and stuff like that. So that's why I think it'd be in Gryffindor, brave and bold, but really deep down, you want Ravenclaw to be around.
That's true.
Hufflepuff because it means well, but it kind of bumbles around a bit.
What was the thing of Hufflepuff? Weren't they meant to be the wise? No,
They're the workers. They're the drones.
no,
They're
but
the
there's a bit where
bricklayers.
the sorting,
They're the bricklayers. Yeah, they're the working
the
class.
sorting hat sings, and he just says the Hufflepuff are everything in
They're
between,
loyal.
aren't they? Or something like loyal.
they'll
Is that
never-
it?
Yeah, they're loyal.
Yeah, they're kind of the idiots.
They're like dogs.
Yeah.
They follow people.
Because Slytherin were something. They were like Slytherin were the most. He says like brave, smart. Slytherin were the
Griffin-
courageous. Slytherin was
Slytherin's
smart.
ambitious.
Ambitious. Oh, okay.
Ravenclaw's smart.
Hang on, I'm looking it up in the book.
I don't
It'll
think...
be near the start with the Hufflepuff.
Yeah, I'm
with
getting
with
there,
the
I'm
Sorting
getting
Hat song. So you said Hufflepuff. You said Hufflepuff. I said Gryffindor. We've got time for a while as Anne's quickly searches in the book.
Getting there, I'm
do you know,
nearly
actually,
there.
this is
Oh,
another
got
bit-
it, got it, got
this
it,
is another
got it,
bit of
got it.
trivia I had. After the release of the Harry Potter books, I think it was over like 1,400 schools in the UK adopted the thing of having houses.
My school
Based
did.
on
My,
the school.
my
based on the
uni-
books, though. No, but they didn't have houses before. Based on the books, they decided to split them into houses.
My
and make it a
university,
thing.
Yeah.
for our music theory classes, we had the Hogwarts houses.
You had
it was-
Hogwarts houses.
Yeah, it was Slytherin, Gryffindor.
But surely no one
Hufflepuff.
would want to be in Slytherin.
I know Slytherin was it was based on aptitude, and Slytherin was the best. I'm in Slytherin, obviously. Cause,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can imagine him in
I reckon
Slytherin.
Bach would have been in Slytherin. Most
Obviously.
of the best composers would have come from Slytherin.
yeah, they did tend to.
Because they all had evil
Murder
stuff. They all had
muggles.
evil stuff going on behind closed doors.
Okay, Lizanne, what's
You might belong in Gryffindor, where dwell the brave at heart. Their daring nerve and chivalry set Gryffindors apart. You might belong in Hufflepuff, where they are just and loyal. Those patient Hufflepuffs are true and unafraid of toil. Or yet in wise old Ravenclaw, or if you've a ready mind, where those of wit and learning will always find their kind. Or perhaps in Slytherin you'll make your real friends. Those cunning folk use any means to achieve their ends.
That was
What would
a fat
happen
beat.
if you took a dump in the sorting hat? What would you do?
Gryffindor?
Now that would be a Slytherin, wouldn't it? Unless you farted, then it'd be a Hufflepuff.
I want to. Well,
Right, okay, I need to
that.
grade it. I would put it in Ravenclaw because it thinks it's really clever, but it knows that Gryffindor would be its ass.
Okay, yeah, no, it works. Okay, that works well.
It's
I was going to
ass.
quickly ask. We're running out of time, but I want to quickly ask. So the only tie, because I know these books were really controversial among the hardcore Christians and Catholics and stuff, because it was meant to be magic and like witchery and stuff like that. But why is
Was
the
it
book?
really?
Oh yeah, like it's
Yeah.
condemned by most like
They had
serious
actual-
religious groups
Oh,
They had
I didn't
actual
know
book
that.
burnings and stuff of the Harry
Oh,
Potter
yeah.
novels. It was crazy.
because it was
In America, obviously.
It was promoting
Because
witchcraft.
it's pagan.
It's witchcraft.
witchcraft. And
Okay.
obviously, to conjure up creatures and stuff is evil. But how is the book related to the Christianity faith? I know you say that Harry dies. But
it's
is that
all,
the only? So any time where a character's died in a book and come back, like Buffy, for
No,
example,
but just there's a lot of sort of basically Harry has faith and blah blah blah. I can't even remember, but to be honest, if you look
Is
this up, it
Dumbledore-
is
The
a
is
massive-
whole of the
Dumbledore
Chronicles
God?
of Narnia is the Christian faith.
Oh no, but that was a lot more obvious.
Oh yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
that was more obvious. But no,
Because
this,
one of the girls, the moment she becomes a woman and starts falling
yeah,
around
she
with
likes
boys,
boys
she
and
can
makeup
no
and stuff.
longer
She doesn't
see
get to go to
Jesus.
Narnia.
Yeah, she can't go
absolutely.
to Narnia anymore. Yeah,
She can't go to the promised land,
C.S. Lewis
which is
was
well
not a nice
harsh.
guy.
Well harsh. Cool. Okay. That was a good show. Well done, guys. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, you can visit our website at retrogradeshow.com to find a complete back catalogue of all our episodes. You can also find us on Twitter at retrogradeshow. Email us whenever at retrograde@psychon.org, and you can follow us and like us on Facebook. Just search for Retrograde. And if you enjoyed the show, please take time to write a review on iTunes. Every reviewer for us on iTunes gets a free Retrograde badge. Lastly, if you're interested, you can also sponsor an episode of Retrograde. Just head over to psychon.org/sponsor. We'll be back in 2 weeks with an awesome game. I'm really happy you picked this, James. Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Why did you choose it?
Oh, what? Really?
The original Call of Duty.
I hadn't looked at the list. Oh,
It's the original one. No, it was very influential, and obviously nowadays they become kind of a. It's like the uncle who you used to like, and they started drinking and touching stuff, and it was bad.
What
he used to be
console
cool.
are we playing on?
PC.
PC, right? Okay.
I mean, it was great when it came out, and it's so influential.
You can get it on download.
Neil will
on
have it, it'll be alright.
PlayStation or Xbox.
It's not the same though.
No, Neil will have it.
I'm going to try to get it on the PC as well. But I'm really because I reckon it's probably the most important game we've had of the last one of the most important games of the last 10 years. Because the influence it's had has been huge.
Was it made less than 10 years ago?
It was 2004.
2005 was our cut-off, remember?
I think it was 2004. It was either that or earlier. I checked. It's cool.
Okay.
Could be a fun one. Have any of you guys played it before? The original Call
of
Duty?
Yes, every day.
No, the original Call of Duty.
No,
did he not get the sarcasm? I thought
right.
that was quite obvious.
Sorry, I thought you were being serious.
Did you really?
Did you like that game?
The Sand's well into Black Ops too.
COD Blops. I'm all about the COD Blops.
So yeah, cool. Thanks for listening. That's goodbye from me, Jack Marshall. Goodbye from Anthony Hopday.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Zan Fisher.
What was that?
I'll do that again. A goodbye from Zan Fisher.
Bye.
And a goodbye from James McFadden.
Follow us.